Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Set Listing Bruce, your podcast all about Bruce Springsteen, his music, and mostly his fans. I am your host, Jesse Jackson. We are doing a special crossover episode with the greatest, most fabulous Bruce Springsteen podcast of all time. What the hell, guys? What the hell? I have
That's close.
Tom.
That's close.
I
I think
have
it's
Matt, and I have Aaron. They are the new kids on the block. They are the newest Springsteen podcast, and I am thrilled to have them on here. Aaron, you want to tell a little bit about, introduce your two cohorts, and then talk a little bit about your origin story?
absolutely. We are the world's greatest Springsteen podcast. And yeah, we were born out of, I've been on this show a couple of times. And the last time I was on, I talked about my YouTube channel. And we run a live stream Springsteen concert at least once a week. And people come to watch it and talk in the chat. And the podcast was born out of the chat of the live stream. Both Tom and Matt were regulars in the chat, and one day we were complaining about some of the other podcasts, not your podcast, of course, but some of the other podcasts out there, and one of the things they had to say, we were like, you know what? If we did a podcast, it would be the world's greatest Springsteen podcast. So we decided to give it a try, and feedback's been good, and I think the episode has been fun to listen to. And so with me, as always, is Tom. How you doing, Tom?
All right, good to be here.
And with us today, we are so glad to have him, because if you watch our show, you'll know it can be rare. Maddie is with us too. How you doing, Maddie?
I'm very well. Yes, I am the Patty of the band, but so be it.
I like that. The Patty of the band. That's good. Yeah, I am thrilled you guys are on here. Yeah, I don't want to get into too much controversy, but we're going to go this a little bit. I have listened to, and I'm going to talk about Doctor Who for a minute. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I do a Doctor Who podcast. I've been doing it longer than I've been doing a Springsteen podcast. And I've listened to other Doctor Who podcasts, and I was listening to one for a while, and every episode they were complaining about the show and the writing. And after a while, we're like, you know what? If you don't like this that much, then quit podcasting about it. And so I do think there is a place that if you're unhappy with something, I'm not a fan of the Secret Sessions. Bruce does not sing Froggy Went a Courtin' the way my dad did, so therefore he is wrong. But there are things you can be unhappy about, but it is very easy to get into a negative cycle if you aren't careful. And so I appreciate you guys joining us on the block and sharing a positive outlook of there's a lot to be joyful about in Springsteen world right now. And I think that's a good thing to focus on.
We are on the eve of the opening night of the fall USA leg in Wrigley Field tomorrow.
Yeah, that's just great. I'm going to start with you, Matt. Tell me about, can you remember when you first discovered Bruce, and what about his music spoke to you?
Can remember 100%. I'll go back just slightly. My first concert was the Jacksons in Montreal in 1984. And it was in a massive stadium where I was at the very top back of the stadium. And hey, it was, I still remember it. It was amazing. That summer, all of a sudden, this video comes out where he's dancing in the dark, basically. And my mom is watching that, and she's going crazy watching this. And I don't even remember how she found out, but they're the same age. So that became a thing. So you don't, it was cool that my mom liked this guy, but then I had this really cool female cousin who liked him. And then all of a sudden I saw this Born in the USA video, and that was it. And then there was Glory Days. You see that video, it, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to play in that band. I wanted to be in that bar. I wanted to play in that band. And it developed from there. And of course, it was that time, the 84, 85, everything was crazy. When Born in the USA was the one I had for those years until Live 75, 85 came out, and I got that, and then it just exploded. Thunder Road, I never heard Thunder Road until I had 75, 85, and then it just became, that's the opening of that set, and it just, how could you not? Who couldn't?
Yeah.
It was just so spectacular. And then going through that set and everything, yeah, you'd listen to the Born in the USA stuff on that set, but then the Nebraska stuff. Yeah, I remember Johnny 99 on that set for a kid. I was born in 74, so I'm 10, 11 years old, and I'm listening to this stuff, and it just seems so dark, but so amazing and so thrilling. And it's just, you've got Michael Jackson, what I knew, and then you've got this, and it was just, wow, what is this? And it just snowballed from there.
My road to Damascus, I'm gonna get to you in a minute, Tom. My road to Damascus moment was I graduated high school in 77, went through a phase where I just adored Kiss, right? Kiss Destroyer, Kiss Alive, Kiss Rock and Roll Over, all of them, right? Adored it. A lot of the Eagles and Casey and the Sunshine Band, just all this 70s stuff. And I picked up Beach Boys' Endless Summer, and I'd never heard harmonies or vocals like that. It was just another world for me. And Brian Wilson was my first musical obsession for that exact reason. Like it, and I love everything about all those bands, but it was just a different level for me. So I can certainly understand that. How about you, Tom?
My older brother got me into it. I think it was right around the time 75 to 85 came out. And so we started listening to that together. And then Tunnel of Love came out, and I was hooked probably before that. And then I went to my first show with him at the reunion tour at the Meadowlands, one of those nights.
So I'm stick with you, Tom. Why did you think, what about the current client made you felt like you wanted to podcast about him? And I'm going to ask you the same thing, Matt.
He's always been my favorite up even now. So I've got plenty of other bands I follow, but he was always number one. And I've seen him probably 50 times now. And he's one of these guys it's like being a Beatles fan. You want to research everything, and you want to find all the outtakes and all the stuff. You just want to keep digging. So I had some knowledge, I thought. So I thought if Aaron wanted to do it and Matt wanted to do it, like at least I could contribute something.
How about you, Matt?
There's been some controversy in the last few years, and it gets very disheartening. And there was one time that Aaron said, "Oh, Matt's a fanboy," as is he, and got to the defense to that. I'm like, "Oh, what's a fanboy?" And I looked it up. No, I look at it in a positive light. I think for me, this guy's 73 years old. And like I said, my mom and dad are 73. Some of the greatest times of my life and some of the greatest shows I've ever seen. And no, not some of them, the greatest shows I've ever seen have been Bruce Springsteen, and he's changed my life. He's been a part of my life. I just don't feel the need to be negative about it anymore. And I've heard so much negativity, and I take it not personally, but I get upset with it. I get tired of it, and I feel it's just, guys, we've got a gift here that we're getting, and to complain that, oh, we played Kitty's back again. Come on now, think about this. Like, it's just, I felt we needed to put a positive spin on it, and we're not denying. Yeah, no, it hasn't developed the way other tours have. But keep in mind, and Aaron will attest to this, we all will. It's still only 6 months into that tour, and it has always taken a long time for him to start to develop and start to move things around a bit. Things were a little slower in Europe, but I don't know. I don't think it even matters. I'm not going to see my first show of this tour until November. And if he plays the exact same set list, it'll be probably the best night of my life.
Yeah. So I'm going to add a little something to that, but Aaron, share with me. You've talked a little bit about you just wanted to counterbalance some of the things going out there. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Seems like a lot of what we were hearing is people talking about how they've been let down by their favorite entertainer. And I just thought we needed a place where a fan was a fan. And and I'm a fan, and Matt's a fan, and Tom is also a huge fan. He might play the devil's advocate on occasion, but he's also he is our resident, knows everything, man. He will whip out some song that Springsteen recorded on a Walkman in 1973 on a hilltop by himself, and we have no idea. I think we have great chemistry. I listen to our show. I think it's entertaining, and I think people should listen. We're on YouTube and Spotify, and I know you're a big time podcast guru, Jesse. You're going to have to help us figure out what we're doing wrong. I think we should have more listens than we've got right now.
I have listened to, I've done episode 9 and 10, and I just really enjoyed them. I think it was a lot of fun. And some of the discussions, and we're rehashing a little bit of what you guys talked about, is we did have somebody, and my issue, I understand being disappointed if you didn't hear the song you wanted to hear. I understand being disappointed that he hasn't changed things up the way he has in the past. What I don't understand is being mad. And I don't understand about taking it personal, as if he's effing you over deliberately. Now, I do say the person that has a right to complain is whoever pre-purchased all the Nugs downloads before they knew they weren't changing the set list. Then that person goes, shit, I don't know if I would have done that for just the 1 or 2 different songs.
Both me and Matt pre-purchased the US and the Europe before we knew.
Yeah.
And then when they sold the fall, we already knew what was going on, and we bought the fall too. So
Okay.
So we can't complain, but I guess there are people that I do understand that, but I also bought the fall.
So
we definitely did.
So someone I just got, my lovely bride has been very understanding. We were going to meet in Tulsa, and I ended up having COVID, so we didn't get to meet. So I saw Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Got If I Was the Priest twice. And yes, that is sacrilegious, but it's still a great song, right? Shows I listened.
See, he listens to our show.
Yeah. And so someone tweeted, maybe you'll get a surprise. And I'm like, okay, I got If I Was the Priest twice. I've already won the jackpot. I'm not. Now, I personally have only heard Mary's Place once. It was at my very first show. My first show was a Rising show. I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I attended that first show. I've been very vocal about that. I had not done my homework. I hadn't listened to the Rising 50 million times. But I didn't know a lot of the songs. So I would love to hear Mary's Place again. I hope he brings that back.
He's been
But
playing Mary's Place a lot in Europe, and it's just fantastic on this tour. I know Tom is gonna moan. He's tired of Mary's Place unless he'll knee slide like he did when he was 50. But Mary's Place is fantastic on this tour.
And so this is what I think is a perfect example of why I get grumpy is, okay, let's say we all agree that we'd wish he'd change things up, but none of us are going to agree with what should leave and what should come back because we all have different feelings. That podcast that should be named talking about, do we really need Johnny 99 again? It's a live Nebraska, right? That I'm not going to get tired of hearing that. Do I wish he would do more from Western Stars? Absolutely. I love some of the songs from the cover album. That'd be great. I wish that he would do an album show and just do Tunnel of Love in a row. He could probably skip the opening track, but Tunnel of Love is easy. I would probably say if I had to push my favorite album, but everyone's going to disagree, and then we'll move on. I have listened to Pet Sounds probably hundreds of times. I'm never disappointed it doesn't change. I have watched Casablanca dozens of times, and I'm never disappointed it doesn't change. So I'm not going to be sad that I'm getting to see Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band Extended Orchestra playing almost 3 hours, doing a wide range of songs, and having a blast. But because I didn't get my bingo card stamped, because I didn't get to hear something from tracks, come on, forget about it.
Right. They talk about it like it's a baseball, like they got to keep stats, and they don't even go. They're at home. It's all about reading the set list, and it's like, oh, look, he played this rarity, and then they'll get the tape. Now I understand that. I'm a tape collector, and I did buy all the nugs, and I wish there was more stuff. I do. People think that, oh, I just love that it's the same show every single night. I don't, but it's certainly not my place to say. And he brings it to a new audience every night, and he really doesn't worry about the 7 crazies at the airport hopping from show to show.
And I had a guest about a year ago that said she's heard Born to Run too many times live. She'd gone to 50, 60 shows. And she goes, and I'm fine never hearing Born to Run live again. And my best friend Sam said the same thing. Let's take out Born to Run and then put a different song in. And I said, every comic book is someone's first comic book. Every show is someone's first show. You go see Bruce Springsteen and he doesn't play Born to Run, you're leaving a little disappointed.
David Spade does a great routine about bands that don't play their big song. And it's Big Country. I went and saw Big Country, and they didn't play Big Country.
Yeah. And so I say, enjoy the hell and rejoice for that person who's been saving some of them. There was a teenager or someone that's a 7-year-old, right? I've been waiting my whole life for this show. Let her see it. Let her enjoy it. Tom, what has surprised you so much this early into the podcast?
I'm always surprised when Matt shows up.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
Oh, that's all they do.
But it's better when Matt's there. So. But what surprised me about the podcast, I'm surprised we don't have more listeners or viewers.
We're getting there. It's building every single week. I think he's most surprised that he turned out to be the most knowledgeable of the three of us. He knows more Springsteen music than any of us. And I think that surprised me the most because I thought I did. And all I found out is I know nothing. He comes every week with lists of songs that lately we've been talking about, and we're going to do a deep dive next week into unreleased tracks, songs I have never heard of that I had because I collect everything, but never really went into, never really did a deep dive and listened to, just figured they were throwaway tracks that he threw away. And oh no, Tom's, you got to hear this one. You got to hear this one. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into that. And boy, Tom's like our encyclopedia.
I got to jump in.
Please.
Tom has completely what he did on that episode 10 and his list of, I don't want to say outtakes. Yeah, I guess they're outtakes, but this is some stuff that these aren't outtakes. I'll say it. And if those songs, if Bruce Springsteen released those songs and just those songs and then built on those as a career, I stand that he would have had a very successful career, a very different one. He wouldn't maybe not have been the megastar Bruce Springsteen.
I was going to say, I guess he really blew it.
No, there is some just absolutely phenomenal music. And Tom has put me onto this. I've been listening to this since 9 o'clock Saturday morning, this past Saturday. And I haven't listened to anything else since. And it's just been constant. And I've gone back and I've listened. Tom made a list of his favorites, but there's hundreds more beyond that. And it is just, it's stuff that I never would have thought of. Yeah, no, Tom is our encyclopedia, but he's frighteningly adept with Bruce Springsteen. It's amazing.
Episode 11.
I don't have much of a life.
Okay.
Episode 11 will be a deep dive into Tom's list now that I've had a chance to hear it and Maddie's had a chance to hear it over and over again.
Oh, over and over. I love it. I like it. It's almost like I discovered Bruce Springsteen.
I thought it was fascinating when they put out the Promise box set, right? That Little Steven said if Bruce had wanted to be a top 40 songwriter, that he could have been one of the most successful pop songwriters out there. And when I think when you think about some of the stuff he gave away, that you think and that wasn't his muse and that wasn't what he wanted to do, but I do think that's interesting. I have not been very active in bootlegs or outtakes or anything. So like when High Hopes came out, I'm like, oh, I don't know any of these songs. And I'm hearing people on a discussion like, oh yeah, we've already heard all these. And I'm like, really? I didn't know. I'll look forward to that episode. I think that'll be a lot of fun to discuss. Anything that surprised you, Matt?
About the podcast?
Yeah. Or these
Tom's
two
knowledge.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's knowledge, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's and the surprising thing is there's so much that I didn't know, and there's so much that is so good.
Yeah. That
I'm just enjoying in the last 3 or 4 days. And it's not just enjoying, this is phenomenal stuff. And
yeah.
If another person could hear that and connect with it, and you yourself,
yeah,
The Wind and the Rain, the song The Wind and the Rain. I knew the song. I didn't know the song, but I knew it was the longest song. When you hear that song, though, it's just, who was this guy? Like, where did this stuff come from? It's just...
Yeah, and it's not a hard listen. It's so long, but you don't feel like it's a long song. It's
Okay.
just it's that good.
Wow. Okay.
You get so pulled into it. Like it just becomes, yeah, I don't know. It's been wild.
Okay. Yeah. I look forward to hearing the episode, and I'd love to hear the songs. You're fairly new at this. Are you figuring out the flow of the agenda? Because one of the things that people like in a podcast is unstructured structure. They don't want it to be exactly the same, but they want a feeling of, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. How are you guys feeling on that, Aaron? Where are you rolling on that as you're creating?
I think we're still developing a lot of our different plans. Each week we try to come up with something new, and we try to have regular features. I think lately, because the tour is going on, we do talk about the set list of the most recent shows of the week. There's usually something in there to discuss, not just read the same 26 song list,
Right.
but there's usually something to discuss. So we'll talk about the news, top of the day, what's going on in Springsteen world, if anything. And then usually let Tom take over to talk about something good, something about old music, his favorite this, or he's been on a couple shows. He's taken, like, what if these 3 albums, we just condensed them down to 1 album, and I'm going to now break Aaron and Maddie's heart with everything I throw away. And that's been fun
too.
And then we try to play some kind of game to wrap it up at the end. We've played the Springsteen Hurdle, which I know you're familiar with. We've played that live on the show. And then Tom developed a similar game that we call Springsteen Lurtle, where we simply read the lyrics and humiliate the other two who sit there dumbfounded going, that's a Bruce Springsteen song? I guess I don't know any Bruce Springsteen songs. And we brought some with us.
Yes,
Jesse.
we are going to do this. We are going to do Springsteen Lurtle for sure. Is there, as we talk about this, are there songs you're chasing, Matt? Is there a song you're going to go this tour, so you're happy if he did exactly what's opening night, right? I'm sad he's not doing Burning Train because I love Burning Train. That was my vote that would start the show, that I thought they would play Burning Train to start. Ghost is great, and No Surrender to the start, but is there a song that you're chasing you'd love to see live?
Wrecking Ball.
I got some good news. I got some good news for you, Matt. You're gonna probably catch one on this tour.
No, that's our little thing. But no, honestly, for me, I'm chasing Backstreets. I have been for a long time, and like
more good news. More good news for you, my friend.
well, you never know, though. You never know.
Oh,
Right.
I know. He is not going to stop talking about that pile of books and the box, those box of 45s. I think that's
I
going
wonder
to be
what
around.
those 45s were, though. What was
Yeah.
on those 45s? Like,
Yeah. How about you,
Tom,
Tom?
Yeah, and Burning Train would be a great opener, but I guess that ship sailed.
Right.
Anything from Letter to You that he hasn't already played, I'm chasing. Power Prayer, Janie Needs a Shooter. Those are the.
Yeah. When we were in Houston, and when he said, I wrote this song blank and I still don't know what the F it's about, we started looking, and so it was there. We had, everyone was a hardcore fan except my wife, and she's looking like, why are y'all so excited? And so, yeah, I would love, Power Prayer is one of my favorite songs off Letter to You, and so I would love to hear that live. Absolutely. Yeah. How about you, Aaron?
What do I want to hear?
The
Was
song
that
you're
the question?
chasing. Yeah, the song you're chasing.
Oh, man. I think if I go through set lists, I might have already heard it once, but I think
Okay.
Lost in the Flood
Okay.
is the song that I've looking for that I've gotten really lucky and caught a lot of
Right.
chasers like Blinded by the Light and I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of one freaking Bruce Springsteen song right now.
Where did you hear Blinded by the Lake? I meant to
I
ask
have
you
heard.
that.
Wait, that's another thing. I've heard Blinded by the Light 3 or 4 times. He seems to play it in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and I lived in Detroit and went to a lot of Pittsburgh and Cleveland shows, and I think I saw it twice in Pittsburgh and once in Cleveland, and I saw it somewhere else too. Oh yeah, the Terrence Trent D'Arby show in at Madison Square Garden. He played by the Light,
Okay.
and he didn't make it. He got near the end. He was like, I can't remember the rest of the words, and he stopped playing it.
So Matt, what shows are you going to on this leg? You said you didn't see anything in the early leg, right?
No, I'm in Canada.
Okay.
Aaron and I were supposed to go to Detroit.
He
Aaron
can't
didn't make
get a passport, man. He's been waiting
Well,
on a
I
passport.
can. Yeah, no. There's a passport story. I'm not a criminal.
Yeah.
I can get one. I think that's hopefully not the issue, but I'm going to go to 2 in Toronto, 1 in Ottawa, which is my hometown, and 1 in Montreal. So it'll be 4 Canadian shows. If it comes down to it and I can't do the second Toronto show, because if I have to line up for 4 days ahead of time for the Ottawa show, because I want to be on the rail in Ottawa,
Yeah.
I will skip the second Toronto show, because I
Okay.
did it in 2003 and I got to do it again.
Okay.
One
And how
time,
about-
just one more time.
Tom, how about you? What have you seen on this tour, and do you have any coming up?
I've seen Tampa and Orlando,
Okay.
and I have no plans to see him again on this tour, but
Mhm.
anything's possible.
Yeah. And all right, how about you? What do you got coming up, Aaron?
I went to Tampa and Houston and Dallas and Tulsa.
Yeah.
And I canceled a couple too. I had 6 on the agenda. I had to cancel 2 of them. But I am going to Phoenix in November 30th, and then LA is still maybe.
So we need to get together for Phoenix, and here's the story of this. Sometimes you just get lucky. My wife had said I could go to one more show. You've waited a long time. I have friends that live in Columbus. I'm flying into Columbus, seeing my friends, then going to the show, and then coming home the next day. And I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I got an email saying that I had American Airline miles that were about to expire, that if I didn't use them by October, they were going to go away. So just out of habit, I said, could I go Dallas to Phoenix? And sure enough, I could book round trip, $11.50, the only cost for me. We have an office in Lake Havasu, Arizona, which is only 3.5 hours from Phoenix. So I emailed my boss, hey, John, I have airline miles that are going to expire. I am willing to use them to go visit the Lake Havasu office. I can fly in on Monday, drive to Lake Havasu, spend Tuesday, Wednesday, half a day Thursday in the office, drive back to Phoenix. Just so happens Bruce is in Phoenix. See Bruce. Thursday night, the hotel will be on my dime, and then I'll fly home Friday. So the only thing you'll have to pay for is the rent-a-car and the hotel for me to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And he just, yes, we can do this. And he actually thought it was pretty fun because he had been wanting me to go to the office. I'm getting a surprise trip that, so I had to go buy a ticket to Phoenix, and the only thing I could find was behind the stage, but I don't care. I did, and you and I discussed this, Aaron, that
I don't have my Phoenix ticket yet.
Yeah, you have to make that decision. if you're willing to take the chance that you may not be able to go, you'll probably find a inexpensive ticket. But if you want the security of knowing that you have a ticket, then you're probably going to pay a little bit more than you want. And so I did. It was enough for me that I have it. So I'm hoping you and I can meet free
Are you
Phoenix.
going
and
solo? You going solo?
I'm just going by myself. Yeah.
All right, well, definitely. I'm going to go with my brother. He lives in Phoenix. I'm gonna
Oh,
spend the
nice.
night at his place one night, fly in day of the show,
Yeah.
fly out the next day. But yeah, we're gonna come down there. I will definitely meet up with you.
Yeah,
But
that'll be
and
good.
I've sat behind the stage or side stage at every show so far.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not sit behind the stage, but you never know.
Yeah.
I've been that's where the cheap seats are, and I'm all about the cheap seats.
I got nothing. I'm just glad to be in the building. All right.
I'm hoping for one of those 4 shows that I'm going to see that I will be behind the stage, because
Yeah.
Aaron knows when he sends me a video of a behind the stage show, I love every second of that. I love to see the interaction of the fans.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so cool, and I really hope. I don't hope, I will get one of those.
What I thought was interesting at Austin, I was behind the stage and Kevin bringing all the guitars. Back at stage, you see everyone else bringing little Steven and Susie and all the guitar changing that you don't see as much. And Neil's getting different guitars. So I thought that was pretty cool.
See,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I can't wait to see something like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
Matt,
I
you want to sit behind the stage? I got some more good news for you.
That's good. All right. So Tom, make me feel stupid. Do you got song lyrics for us?
I brought the song lyrics
You
today.
brought
We're
the
gonna
song
go.
lyrics. Okay.
Yeah, you want to go first, or do you want one of the guys to have to go first?
I'm gonna whatever you. I'm gonna give guest
Right.
choice.
All right, we're gonna let you go
no,
first,
No,
but you
it's all Jesse. Jesse's
let Jesse go first. He was worried that
So I
he
have
would
my
not
hands
get it.
here, so I'm
So I'm
not
gonna try
hitting
to
Mr.
give
Google.
Gonna try to give him a softball.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's see. White sun burning, black wings beating. I ran my fingers across the hollow of your stomach as you lay breathing.
Long time coming.
Nope.
Damn it. Because the stomach. Because another one's coming. All right.
There's some similar lyrics. That is.
Okay, yeah.
Lay my hand across your stomach.
Okay.
As you lay breathing. With our shared faith rising dark and decayed, take me and shake me from this mortal cage.
See this. I'm going to say the same thing you guys say. I know I should know this, but where the F is it coming from?
You should.
Yeah.
I picked it just for you.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pass. What?
You guys know it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
Burning Train.
That is Burning
Damn
Train.
it. Okay. Yes. I should have known that.
Come on.
I
no
know.
way.
Damn it. Okay.
All right. We'll put Matt,
Jesse,
who's never there.
That's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
I gave it to him because I thought he'd get it.
Yeah.
He said it was his song. But I skipped the first verse because I knew he'd
Yeah,
get it.
there
from
you
the
go.
first
Exactly.
verse.
No, that's fair.
Just
All
edit
right,
that out.
Let's try Matt.
No. Yeah, that's great. All right, Matt.
Matt.
Redeem us.
Well, early in the morning, the cannoneer cried. I seen the sailor's warning in the western sky.
Wrecking ball.
It is not Wrecking Ball. You got to get a new bit.
How
Never-
could it not be?
It's still funny.
It is fun.
Mountain man, if you can, cut me down a fir tree. Branches full of candlesticks for baby and me.
I don't know, but I want to listen to it.
Anybody want to help Matt?
Yeah, I know it's on tracks. I know that.
It is on tracks.
Is it Bishop Dance?
It is Bishop Danced.
Damn
Ding,
you.
ding, ding.
And we love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
we
awesome.
do.
Yeah,
All
Aaron
right.
and I love that song. Wow.
Yeah.
I got one for Tom.
Okay.
That one's too easy. Let's see. A voice says, "Don't worry, I'm here. Just whisper the word tomorrow in my ear."
I know this. Give me a little more.
He looks like he's got it already.
Why not?
A house on a quiet street, a home for the brave, the glorious kingdom of the sun on your face, rising from a long night as dark as the grave.
Oh man, hang on.
Did Bruce do a lot of acid?
On a thin chain of next moments and something like faith, on a morning to order, a breakfast to make, a bed draped in sunshine, a body that waits for the touch of your fingers, the end of the day.
The Devil's Arcade.
It is the Devil's Arcade.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, and then I'll give this to
Sing it
all of
myself.
you. I got two more, and we'll
Okay.
leave it up for grabs. First one to get it. This one should be easy. Let the frozen cities crumble and fall.
I want to be with you.
I want to be with you, Matt, with one line.
Nice.
Everybody's reeling when the band hits the ceiling. Don't you know you want to go?
Where the bands are?
Where the bands are.
No.
I would have to look to see if those, sometimes Bruce recycles.
Yes, he
lyrics.
does recycle. Yes.
I am not reading from
Yeah,
where the
yes.
bands are.
Okay.
Let's see. Everybody's reeling when the band hits the ceiling. Don't you know you want to go? The kids start a rocking when the boys start a knocking, and everybody wants to go. Rat traps filled with soul crusaders. They're sopping and bopping and mopping with little Melvin and the invaders. Missy's on the dance floor doing her stuff. Leroy's dancing, doing the continental strut. Oh no, come on, you guys. I would have got this.
Tom's nodding his head.
It's on tracks.
Yes, it is.
Hold on, I gotta sing it to myself. Just cut all this dancing
out loud.
Joint shut down, but you don't want to go home. You're in the shady side of town and you're all alone. If you don't get this verse, Papa's chewing your ear off. You ain't got no cash. Mama's chewing your ear off about hanging out with trash. You're so fine. You're sent from above. So young and in love. That's right, Matt. You were right there.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Jesse, that's pretty much our show.
That
Yeah.
I love it. All right. If someone wants to reach you and watch the show, tell us how, Aaron.
Right now, we are available on YouTube at Fisherman's Secret Garden pre-show channel. I got to shorten that. And probably change it to the World's Greatest Springsteen Podcast channel. And we're also on Spotify, the World's Greatest Springsteen Podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And we'd like to expand, and we're going to have to get together with you, Jesse, and you got to point us in the right direction on how exactly to do that.
Sounds good. How about social media for you?
Okay.
No.
How you reach? Okay.
Yeah, your plug.
I'm on Twitter at Aaron Kozin, AronKozin, at Aaron Kozin, and I can be emailed for information at Fisherman's Wharf Channel at gmail.com. Fisherman's Wharf Channel at gmail.com. I know Matt's on Twitter.
Matt, your Twitter handle?
I don't even know anymore. I've changed it a few times.
It's got a bunch of numbers. I can't even help. It's at Jimmy 179432. Pain in my ass. Right. I don't know what it is.
We're social media savvy.
I can tell. How about
Tom,
you, Tom?
man, Tom's not even on social media. He's got
At
email at prodigy.com.
Yeah,
At what is X, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This was a lot of fun. I hope
It
you
was
return
fun.
the favor and have me join you sometime. This would be a blast. I end every podcast with a Mary question. And Jay Armstrong is a retired honors English teacher. And when he was teaching, he would give his class the lyrics to Thunder Road, and they would read them. They would talk about the themes Bruce uses, talk about the imagery he portrays, and then he would ask the class at the end, does Mary get in the car? Matt, that is your question. Does Mary get in the car at the end of Thunder Road?
It's the way I've seen it since the very first time I ever heard it on that. Like I said earlier tonight, this is cool. It wraps it up. 75, 85, the first time I heard that, I know she got in the car.
Very nice. Tom?
Just going by the lyrics of the song, no.
Okay. He doesn't make his case?
The song ends. They don't say whether she gets in the car or not, so I have to say no.
Okay.
Are
It's
you
kinda like-
insane? That's a song about hope. What is that? See, this is the problem with our podcast. It's that guy. Listen to that.
I think of it as the short story we had to read in high school, The Lady or the Tiger, where the writer leaves it open-ended. So it's however you want to write it. All right, good answers. That's about right. I am about 50-50 right now. 50% say yes, she does. 50% says no. So you guys helped keep the balance scale. Guys, welcome to the Springsteen podcast neighborhood. I am so proud that you guys are part of this and sharing the good news about Bruce's music and trying to, but there's a lot of darkness out there, not just on the edge of town, and to bring out some sunshine and some happiness and a few laughs are wonderful things to do. So thank all three of you for doing this, having fun, and for joining me. And I appreciate it so much. All right.
All
Any
right.
May
final?
I say, may I say, on behalf
Please.
of all of us, I have listened to your podcast. I can't remember. I know I've listened to all of Aaron's episodes that he was on,
Yeah.
2 or 3, whatever before. But I've listened to a lot of people on it, and it is a really cool concept that you actually take the time to listen to those stories. And there are stories from all over the world that you've put on. And it is so amazing to listen to those stories and the guidance, the security, the love, everything that Bruce Springsteen has provided for people through the years. To hear their stories and every little nuance and everything, and the variety of people that you have on your show, from everybody from every walk of life, everywhere in the world, and to hear those stories and that you've put all this together, man, you've got at least 5 books of Bruce Springsteen stories that you could write. And thank you for having us on behalf of the guys. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here, really happy to meet you, and thank you for what you do.
That's very sweet of you to say. Thank you. This is truly a labor of love for me. And I am a firm believer that every Springsteen fan has a story. And it's my job to get as many of them on tape as possible. And I'm always amazed at people that say, I don't have anything special. Once you get them talking and everyone's experience with Bruce and his music, and as I've expanded, I've had fans of other musicians join me, and everyone is unique. Everyone is different. And I appreciate the kind words. I have a blast doing it. It's just a lot of fun. So thank you.
We appreciate you having us, and we will definitely have you on our show real soon. This has been a blast. and we know it's gonna help blast our show
There
off
we
into the
go.
stratosphere.
How about you, Tom? Any final words?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Jesse, for having us on. And I've listened to a number of your shows. I got turned on to it by Aaron's other show, and I enjoyed. I liked the when you had the author of the Nebraska book on. That was a good one. And I
Yeah.
just want to.
Oh, you have? I didn't even know. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
I'm pretty proud of that one because he had already done 2 or 3 other Springsteen podcasts, and I was like, the other guys and a couple others, and I was like, man. And so we went a little bit different about his fandom. We still talked about the book, but yeah, that I'm proud of that one. I thought it was a really good interview. And what's interesting, and I may cut this out, I just had the guy that wrote the article about the title Springsteen Crosses the Picket Line, right? Jesse Adams. And he emailed me and he said, is there crap about Ticketmaster and his thing? That I'm like, so I tell him and he goes, I had no idea this was going on. He said, no wonder so many people reacted poor. So I hit a touchy nerve and everything. And a lot of people question, like, why are you having somebody who's negative about Bruce on the show? And I go, no, I don't mind negativity. And I think he politely is full of shit. I don't think just because Bruce did Working on a Dream and Queen of the Supermarket made this guy not want to listen to Bruce anymore. Like
He said he was insulted. I happen to be a huge fan of Queen of the
Yeah.
Supermarket, and he wouldn't let up on how he
No.
felt personally insulted by Bruce that he would write such a song and record such a song. I was like, who is this guy? I
What do you
listened to
get
that
talking? I
episode.
don't even know any of this shit. But
Yeah, and we had a really respectful, good discussion. And he thanked me for being so open and daring. I did call him. I said he'd never seen Bruce live. And one of his things is he doesn't think Bruce at 73 can really sing Thunder Road and these songs the way anymore. And I'm like, you got to go to a live show and then you're going to eat your words. You're going to eat your words. So, yeah.
doesn't that make you sick, though? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good. All
You'd
right.
think they'd find something else to do.
Absolutely. Tom, Matt, Aaron, I am so glad you guys are here, my podcast brothers. Thank you so much for all you do. We will do this again, either on your podcast or mine, or probably both. For now, listeners, go check out the podcast. Send them some love. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Put some comments. Tell them you heard about them on Set Lusting Bruce. And let's all be kind, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.